You are listening to the USDN on the DFPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody? It's the chairman here of the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. And today rather, because we're 10 a.m., it's Sabè's afternoon.
Yeah.
We're diving into his mind, whose work bends bones, shadows, and imagination from grotesque whimsy to textured nightmare beauty. His visual storytelling brings worlds to life with a style you can spot from across the room. Whether he's illustrating monstrous folklore or giving heart to the strange and surreal, his pages live, breathe in emotion, motion, and madness. And joining me today is an artist that we spoke very, very highly of when I had Ethan Kogan and Jessica Silvetti on the podcast, who does Shockheaded Peter, Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Italy's own Sabè. Sabè, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much. By the way, really cool intro. I love that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. That's what we do, man. We do cool intros and talk to really amazing people here.
Oh,
and
thank you.
We are so happy to have you on. Shout out to Jess and Ethan for getting us together so we could talk about the art and put a lot of focus on the art that tells the story of Shockheaded Peter. So let's dive into it, Sabè. What do you say?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and whatever you want to know about Shockheaded Peter is fine. And by the way, I want to spoil something. Like they say, I make everything all right, but in the end, it was a co-working. So, and sorry about my English. Sometimes it will be messed up. Sorry.
No,
And,
you're good, Sabè. I'm telling you, the council members that are going to listen to this show, they're going to love the fact that we had you on here all the way from Italy.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a pleasure. So it was a co-working, and so it was a back and forth of work. And when I send to them the pages and all the concept, they say and give me their thought, and we build this word together. I don't know if you saw the Bible when we started the work, it was awesome.
No. He pulled it off the shelf and showed me the Shockheaded Peter Bible, the big, thick book. Beautiful stuff.
I couldn't mess up with that Bible.
It was impossible. Amazing.
Only on purpose. I couldn't mess up.
That was so impressive that he just was like, he's like, oh, let me show you the Bible. And he pulls it off the shelf with two hands.
It was an actual Bible.
And it was just this beautiful story work for Shockheaded Peter, which was really cool.
Yeah. So,
let's learn who you are. So how did you start your journey as an artist in comic books?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think 90% of the comic artists have the same background story at the first, because it's like when I was a little kid, I started drawing because I saw a lot of comics book. Yeah, it was literally like that. I saw a lot of comic books and I said, I love this way of telling a story. Okay, telling a story with these images, this drawing. They are awesome, and I said I want to be like that. I started drawing, started of course copying my first one, some from Italy. Okay, that will, I
Mhm.
don't know if you know Sturmtruppen of Bonvicini or Andrea Pazienza. Maybe it's not
We
that.
don't get a lot of
Yeah, no, don't
input.
worry.
Yeah, which
You
sucks
know,
because there's so many of you over there that are so good, but we don't get to experience your work because they just don't import those to us.
yeah, no, that's a pity. But there we are talking about really old comic artists of the
Mhm.
80s, 70s. So I grew up because my parents both
Uh-huh.
the comics, and I saw that comics. Sometimes it wasn't even for my age, fit for my age, but they don't. Just give them, just give
Yeah.
them. It wasn't a problem. And so, but in the end, when I saw like the Mickey Mouse stuff, because also there was here, no, Mickey
Mhm.
Mouse, Donald Duck, and I started drawing that. So I mashed up this kind of style, and it was so early, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to make my own style. When I was like a kid, yeah, I remember when I was
Yeah.
in high school, after the high school, mid school, high school, and I always drew it, but I never thought it could be a proper job. I never thought about that. I said, okay, this is a hobby. It's fine. I
Mhm.
enjoy drawing my schoolmate and make a
Yeah.
draw about a story what was happened in my school
Mhm.
and all that stuff. But then I moved and I studied at university. I studied languages, and that's a pity because that's a pity. It's ironic because my English level is not that high, but I studied languages.
You're
English.
you're doing good, dude.
Yeah, but I should have studied more because sometimes I will totally fuck up the verbs and the grammar. Sorry.
Nah, you're killing it, dude. And I'm telling you, if you ever just you have my you can just DM me, dude. We can hop on and we can talk and we can chat, man. And
Yeah.
I will we will make this happen for you.
Yeah. Okay, I have to improve it. And so I started the university, and meanwhile I have some cash. I've saved some cash, and I was in the middle of this little town in south of Italy. It just opened it as comic school just that year. I said, "Oh my god, this is super cool. Maybe with that money that I saved, I can make some lesson just to see if something that I enjoy after
Mhm.
the university." I start studying comics for 3 years there. Then I finished the university. I finished that school, and I started this. There's two phases in here in Italy within university: the post degree, like the degree and the post degree. I started the post degree, and then I say, you know what? I like draw. I really love drawing. You know what? I quit the post degree university and I moved to Rome because my parents bought a house a long time ago here in Rome. Said, okay, let me find out if I can live with that job. And I follow another school. I started this another school, La Scuola Romana di Fumetti. That you told me there's plenty of people that are working there in the US. They are from that school. I
Mhm.
just find out, and so after that, I started. It was a little tough because
Yeah.
comics is not that safe place here if you want to live. You have to search something else. So I said, why it's better to go like in the same field, like storyboard and animation. And I started like that, gaining money. I started like
Mhm.
storyboard for cartoon stuff or in
And I
this
think a
studio.
lot of comic book artists do storyboarding and stuff like that. I know before we went live, I was telling you about my friend Francisco down in Argentina, and
Yeah,
that's like his primary thing is he storyboards for commercials for Amazon, for Netflix,
yeah,
and
I
that
think
kind of
because
stuff.
yeah, I think because in the school when you start learning comics, the first thing that you have to learn is the 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 storyboard that
Storyboard.
you have to put
Yeah.
in. So there's a lot, plenty of job opportunity in this field, more than comics, because you told me about Amazon and all the stuff in the ads. They're searching for people who are making storyboard until now because the AI is trying to to destroy
Yeah.
us.
I hate that, dude. It
Yeah, I
cheats
know.
so many good people out of so many amazing artists out of jobs that it's disgusting.
Yeah, And I'm starting to be afraid, but let's see. It's not good enough right now because there's a lot of aids. Also, advertisement, sorry, in television and on YouTube. They are amazing. I
Mhm.
don't skip it because it was cool. It's genuinely cool
Yeah, no, you're
because
right.
there's
Yeah.
a proper job, a proper storyboard, a proper if it's a cartoon, it's a proper animator who are drawing that. So until the AI will do something like that, I will not skip. So
No,
yeah,
no, you're absolutely right. There's some phenomenal ads out there that you could tell very humanly influenced, and hopefully it will stay that way for many, many years to come. So what
yeah.
were some of your earliest like an artist or a comic book that you've seen as a child that said this book has influenced me to become an artist now? What
Uh,
was that one comic book or artist that said that influenced you to become the artist?
it's not one. I think when I was super early kids, it was of course Mickey Mouse and stuff like that, and a
Yeah.
little bit of this kind of story. There's a like this satiric World War II comics went out when
Mhm.
my father was a kid, and he
Yeah.
had this comics book, and
That's
I
really cool.
shouldn't have read it because okay, it's satire, okay, it's fine, but it's for adult grow public, okay, it's not for me. But I used to see dot comics because satire, you see these puppets, you say okay, it's fine for kids, but it's not fine the story. But for me it was fine, so I started drawing that. There's some
Yeah.
Truppen of Bombi. I don't know, I see super Italian stuff, so it would be
No, no, that's cool. I love learning like different Italian artists, different UK artists, and just I mean, there's great artists spread throughout this world. And we were speaking before we came live that this year for me personally has been a huge growth
discover.
of in discovery for European artists, you know. And I
Yeah.
have many friends from the UK now who are comic book writers, and
Hmm.
I've learned of I was telling you about my friend in Argentina, Francisco, who was just on the podcast. We did our big horror special for comic books during Halloween.
Hmm.
He does the art for Vitellarium, but there's a colorist who's Egyptian who does
Okay.
the colors on the comic book. So it's kind of crazy to think about. The
Yeah,
writer is in America, the artist
the
is in
artist is
Argentina,
and the color is
the
Egyptian.
colorist is in Egyptian. So it's really cool that this book goes around the world.
But this is the good of the internet. This is the bright side. Talking about Star Wars,
It,
this is
it
the bright
really
side
is.
of the internet because the way that I found Jessica and Ethan is about that is on the social media. And yeah, I saw that all of this stuff that also are some Italian stuff that are exploding outside, like
Yeah,
Zero Calcare right now. I saw
yeah,
in Europe there's a lot of people, they know about these artists, Italian artists, that we know, just we know in like 10 years
yeah,
ago started, and nobody knows who was, and now is exploding on in
yeah.
Europe. I don't know in America, but I think it's translated in English, so I think if something is shipping to there. And yeah, because
So I
as you
mean,
see, no,
we
no, tell me,
were
tell me,
we
tell
were
me.
talking before, like, you know, with like Luliana Vecchio, who does Love Sick and Doll Parts, who just in I think 2022, like she submitted her work to Image, and Image was like, "Oh, we want that," and all of a sudden, like, boom, she's all over the place. Like
Yeah.
she's doing covers for major comic books. She's writing short stories for anthology comic books. And I recently met her
Hmm.
here, and I got her to sign her book, and just very awesome person. And she looks like a baby, you know, she's so tiny. So when she stood up to shake my hand and everything, I was like, I thought she might, you know, she didn't stand up all the way. I thought she was like kind of just like on her knees or something, like, you know, how
It was
you
so
could sit
tiny.
on your knees on your chair.
Yeah.
So, but no, she was standing up, and I was just like, I'm like, let me
So,
scooch down. I feel weird. And she was like, no, no. She's like, I'm used to it.
No,
She's like,
no, okay, it's
I still
fine.
look like a little
You-
girl. I look like a
yeah,
little girl. I know. But she's got this beautiful, beautiful book.
yeah,
But and it's very dark and like it's hard to believe that she did that dark book.
yeah. Yeah, I
So I'm
checked
like,
before when we talk.
yeah,
I
when we were
taking a
talking,
look, and it was amazing, amazing, right? So, answering your question, sorry that I,
no,
uh,
you're good.
it,
We that's our tangent. Well,
yeah, yeah. The first one was Italian
mhm,
that I started drawing like them. I started to copy because I think every single comics art starting copying their favorite style, their favorite author, their favorite drawer. And then I find out that like the first one that really hit me, it was an American one, Rob Guillory with Chew. That now he's
mhm,
making Farmhand. He just finished Farmhand
yeah,
with Image. I think it was with Image, and it was like astonishing. I said, "Oh my god, you can make something so pop street art." With this story, so serious story, and you can mash up all of this stuff like alien and thriller and horror, all of that stuff together. And I said, oh my god, this is super cool. I want to be like that. I want to draw like that. I like that style in particular. It
yeah.
was my hero. If we will see Rob Guillory high. And
No, dude, that's freaking awesome.
yeah, it
So
was super cool. Tell me.
let's talk about your art now.
Hmm.
Your line work and your energy have a very distinct presence. How would you describe your artistic signature? And while you're telling us about that, I'm going to bring up some of your artwork to show people.
Yeah, sure. The fact is that the first time that I approached to the drawing comics, it was like, which kind of style do I have to find? But then I find out that, like in Shockheaded Peter, is like mashing up something that is pop and something that it seems to be like cartoonish one, and mix it up with some environment, some mood that is a little bit darker, a little bit more mature.
There you
And
go.
so I try to use I try to use like color that it can be a little bit less brighter, less saturated, and I try to make it like a little bit more like as I told you, like an animation, a cartoon. And but the grotesque face, the grotesque character that I draw, I like that is in contrast of the environment. The environment I try to put everything
Mhm.
like is not super real, but also, as I told you before, I like to play and draw as background as I could because I like the environment. It makes a lot of in when you
Yeah,
want
and
to
Shockheaded
tell a
Peter,
story.
the environment, as you can see with some of the illustrations here, like the
Yeah,
environment, the surrounding area around the people in Shockheaded Peter, it's very the whole thing. It like if you
it
were
fit.
flipping through, it's like a cartoon, but
Hmm.
it looks so good. It's almost like how they did the animated version of the Dr. Seuss story, The Grinch.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like that old school feel, but it's very vibrant and very cool looking.
Yeah, no, I try to. The fact is that I don't like sometimes that the some story they are awesome and then people and the character are so good. They speak together. They have good lines, better, but the environment, the background behind is kind of no. I don't want to put it. Or I put only a color, a full color, and full stop. Said
Mhm.
no. I like where they are. I know. I like the first chapter we have in the last pages. A plan, sorry, a map of the town.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
seen the
big,
map. Yeah.
yeah, because in my mind, I always want to put the people in an actual places, because I think that is good for the storytelling, of course, but also because he can it's like in a picture when you took a photo of someone, they want a good environment behind him, you know.
Yeah, so this is like a little bit of it right here.
Yeah, they say they love this scene. Okay,
This
because
panel is so good.
Thank you. Uh, yeah, I try to play a lot with the sunset vibe of the color of the sunset. Yeah, and change the girl. Then it pop up the Shockheaded Peter. So it's kind of creepy and melancholic in the same time with the color.
It really is, and it works with the story because here you have this girl who is very pure and very innocent, living in this town that is just like pure corrupt and
Yeah,
evil,
yeah,
and the people just aren't good people in this town. And here we have this very innocent girl whose family is struggling, and you can tell she doesn't want to be like the other townspeople, but deep down inside of her, she's just had enough of their shit and is like, I want to get rid of these people because they are evil.
yeah. This kind of you feel you cheering for the that guy who should be the antagonist because it's just Spanish people. But you are cheering because the people there is so corrupt and the situation is so the evil is everywhere.
Yeah.
So you think, yeah, there's like a kind of a Batman. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, the in that situation, that kind of shot is like, yeah, this one too. It was super
This is
cool
another one of my
going.
favorites. Like, this is another one that was just like an absolute favorite. I think I used this art in some of the clips I made for Jess and Ethan as well, because it was just such a cool piece of art that's
Oh,
in the
thank you.
book.
Yeah, because it was like everything. It was so cool down in the first chapter in the same situation because we are talking like we are taking the first chapter history and then bring it up to the second chapter. We start in the
Mhm.
same time, like, and here is important also in the story that the sky should be in that way, so bright and all, and everything. We will see without spoiling after.
Yeah.
So they say, yeah, bring up everything in the sky, and the contrast with him, this silhouette is that I don't want to spoil it no more.
But
Sorry,
so
I'm afraid to
Shockheaded
spoiling because
Peter is
yeah,
like a supernatural entity
yeah, yeah,
who he kind of feeds on hate and evil.
yeah,
It makes him stronger, and whereas yes, he is kind of this type of entity that feeds on hate. There's also like he doesn't like per se like that type of environment, but it's what
hmm,
like feeds him. So his main thing is like he wants to rid the world of that. Whether yes,
yeah,
he's the bad guy, but at the same time,
yeah.
he's the bad guy. You want to cheer for him because you're like, even you
Exactly.
when you read this book, hate the people in this town. Like you immediately just like these people are horrible.
Yeah, they say they deserve, as they say, they deserve.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I know is that is the fact when I wrote the first time the synopsis, the script, and I say, oh my god, I don't know how to cheer up with, I don't know who is the good or the bad guy, and I love that kind of story because they also challenge me to how I describe them, how I describe them with visually. How they
Mhm.
describe them with the concept artist of the character, yeah, right. This
Like
in the
this one
first
right
time,
here.
yeah. We will see. I can't say no more, not too
No,
much
no,
about
no. You
him.
don't have to,
But
but I just want people to see how
ah, fun fact.
visually this is
Fun fact: in this panel, they choose to put the arm outside of the panel,
outside of the
breaking the
panel.
fourth wall. They never say that because they said, "Ah, he may call, he may call." No, no, it's not true. Sometimes they have a so good idea. They said, "Oh my god, I have to do that. I have to do that," and they put the
No,
hand
it
outside, so
works
breaking the fourth
because
wall.
yeah, no, and I don't like it all the time, but for like there's certain scenes in the book where you see like little things like this, the little nuances of yes, his hands outside of the panel. So it's kind of like, oh damn. Like
Yeah, for this
it's
character, it
those
was
little
perfect.
nuances are amazing and they work so well when done right. And this is one of those instances where it's just absolutely spot on because you see him and he is literally scaring the shit out of this
This,
individual.
yeah,
But it also looks like he may be coming out of the panel for you as well.
Yeah, exactly. But the idea was that if you will notice when we will read it, you will notice that this some kind of character it will pop up more often, and
Hmm.
we like breaking the fourth wall because of that, because they have to make it more real, make it more real. But about the background, I want to go back. I forgot to say that the town, as it is built, is I try to thinking about the town here in Europe, here in Italy, and meshing up a little bit. Is kind of you feel like you are an old town in the old continent in the Europe, by
Yeah, no,
using.
no,
Yes, that's
you're
something.
absolutely, yeah. That's what it reminds me of, like downtown Italy almost. You know, when you're
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
downtown.
The downtown was with this I forgot the name of course, the cupola of course, and the square, the big square where everybody's cheering up for the festival
Yeah,
or whatever is happening in the big square. And I tried to make that environment, but I was to put in a way that in an American style, sometimes with the with some places who look like an American, like a New Yorker
the
street.
way it's done, it could be any little small town
Hmm.
anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly,
and,
exactly.
and it absolutely captures that essence of that small town feel, celebrating their you know 200th anniversary, of their city or their town or something,
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
it's perfect. But I said it reminded me a little bit of like downtown, a downtown in Europe,
Yeah,
Italy or Germany or somewhere, because it has that old school feel to it. But it could be literally just about anywhere in the world with that, the way the
yeah,
town feels.
yeah. The feel is that we are like in Europe, old town, but you feel the actual feel when you read it is like it can be anywhere. But they told me when they sent me the Bible, they said, "I we are lucky because about the." The character and the environment, it should be more European because this is something that was created
Yeah, it was a
with
European
in mind.
folklore.
Yeah, exactly. So they say, okay, you have to be like that. I said, oh, say no more because I'm from here. And so yeah, but I try to make it like a little bit pop because I don't like that it have to be so much realistic or obscure. I don't know how to say it, dark.
Yeah,
So I try to level up a little bit more about that, level up about the darkness, a little bit about the pop side. And
mhm.
Jessica and Eden, it was perfect in the script with the line of the chapter of the character. It was perfect for describing to not be too much in like in a dark opera and or too much in a comedy. It was perfect balance.
No,
I when I
it
drew it,
it absolutely is. It's like
they needed
it feels cartoonish, but it doesn't really look cartoonish to a degree. So you absolutely nailed that. So let's keep focusing on your creative side of things, and like,
it.
what are some of the tools or techniques that you use to work? Do you do digital or traditional, or do you do like a hybrid of both?
I used to learn to study and doing stuff in handmade, okay, with paper and ink. But
Yeah,
then when I started to work in this field, I started to feel that it's too slow the process. I know the first thing that I noticed when I started to approach to the digital, it was like that everything is so cold when you make hand draw is so vivid, so
yeah.
it's warm. You
It's
you can
immediate.
feel
Yeah,
the ink, the pencil, and everything, and also the color. I used to color with the watercolor. And the first thing that I noticed when I started doing digital, it was like I lost that warm, that feeling
yeah.
of warm that I have when I draw on paper. But I find out there's a plenty of course, like Clip Studio and Procreate with the iPad, that they have a lot of brushes, and I try to use the more brushes that I could when I draw for make it feel like it's a hand draw. And so So yeah, it's sometimes like for the character, if I have an idea, I used to draw hand drawing with the paper in front
Yeah.
of me, because it's cool, it's different, and then I take a photo, and maybe after I ink on digital. But in the end I started to go full digital, because of course the time, the deadline, and
Yeah.
also because I could change more often. And these are good, because sometimes I totally go on my way outside of the script sometimes, because I feel like, oh, okay, let's do that. Or misunderstanding of the script sometimes is
Yeah.
happen, because of course I'm Italian. I don't speak that
Yeah.
good English. Sometimes it's happened that I misunderstand something, and it's happening more often than you think. And so making it digital, it was easier to me to correct that. And plus I find a way to like a schedule on doing up pages.
Mhm.
So if I miss something, like on a certain level I put the background, and another level I put the character. So sometimes when I know the shot is good and I save the background, I have to change
Yeah.
all of the character, and I save a lot of time because I didn't flat everything. So in this way, but seeing that there was too many layers, and I started to save layers to flatten in a little bit, and I found this way that if it perfectly, I take like a 1 day or 2 day for making up pages, full pages with the
Yeah.
letter and everything.
That's still really fast to do a in-depth page where you're not just doing the line work, you're also doing the colors and everything else on top
Mm,
of
mm,
it.
mm, 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 mm. Yeah, but the first time, the first pages when we started in the first and the second, are the toughest one, because you have to find out the mood, the color palette, and
Mhm.
sometimes the concept of the people, of the new character that are popping up new in the new
Yeah.
chapter. So you have to feel a little bit. The first pages are always like that. It takes like 5 days maybe, because you are back and forth to know, no, this new character, it should be more like that and not more like that. So
Mhm.
this light should be more like that and not like that. So when we find out, everything is go a little bit more smooth,
Yeah.
and then from there it's starting to be more quick, the process.
I'm glad you brought up characters because you have this amazing ability to bring out emotions and in the characters and their expressions.
Mhm.
How do you approach emotions and movement and body language on a comic book page? Like, how do you normally go about that? Do you like pose yourself in front of a mirror and then draw?
No, if you was a student, I said you should do, but I'm when I told you when I started working, it was for storyboarding, right? And
Yes.
storyboarding learned to you to make it faster and super quickly recognizable for the people who are going to animate the
Yeah.
expression. So you have to focus on that the fastest you can and the clearest that you can. And
Mhm.
working like that for 2 years, let me like improve that kind of way to construct, to build a face's expression on the character. The first thing that I do sometimes when I draw the rough with the pencil, okay, it's digital, but you get it, it's the
Yeah.
pencil.
Yeah.
It's like the actual position of the eyebrow, the eyes, and the sides of the mouth, because I know that kind of expression, it should be, so the pose of that expression should be like that. And I started to build the pose of the position of the body, only because I started like a stick man, only his
Yeah.
face. So it's like that. It's like sometimes, okay, sometimes I need some reference. Of course, I'm not everything in my mind, but it's something that is going to be less and less the more that I draw, because it depends. It depends, because this is super tough expression, because you have to be like worn but not worn. He should be feel safe but is in danger, something like that.
Yeah.
That is different to mix up. So you have to see two expression and try to mix up together, or try to find some reference from another comic book that I wrote. Reading comic books, of course, helped me a lot, and also a lot of animation, a lot of series, cartoon series helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Tartakovsky with
It's
like Primal is It's
Yeah.
amazing.
No, it's really cool that you're like, oh, you'll have this expressive like face and full head, but then a stick figure. And what I like about the digital art like Alps out there is like you can literally start with the stick figure and then you can rotate that stick figure and start building the levels of the body and the head, and you can just start with simple shapes. I've
Yeah,
seen artists that start with like circles and ovals and squares, and then they start building the
inking.
body and inking into it, and it's really cool to watch those to watch an artist
Process.
like in Procreate or something like that start with just simple like circles and squares and
Say
rectangles and
guideline,
triangles.
like
Yeah, and then
guideline.
just all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's this beautiful character in front of you, and you're like, holy shit, that's amazing that they took this square and round figure and now you have this beautiful three-dimensional human being on the screen with muscles and veins and hair and facial features and teeth and just all these details built into it and very intricate, and it just started with simple shapes.
Yeah, but I
So it's always
noticed.
really cool to see that.
Yeah, but I noticed the face of the people when I went to Lucca Comics. There's a comic on here in Lucca, and I started to make like the sketches on the book that I sell, and I starting do like I do in digital, so very rough, super rough character, like two line, and then start thinking, and the people say, "Wait, I used." Already start thinking. I said, yeah, because I draw it like a couple of hundred times this
Yeah,
character. Solely I feel comfortable about that, but also because sometimes it's happened that some people, some backgrounds, if you put too much in your pencil and you put too detail and it's super clean, when you start inking, you lose. I don't know what happening, but they lose like soul. Like they start to be
yeah,
super rigid, super
yeah.
tough. And I said they are not sketches, they are not dynamic anymore. You have to use the ink like it's a pencil, but
Yes.
in a proper way. You have to be, when you put that line, you have to be sure that the line is good. So that
Mhm.
is the trick for me. It's like okay, I make this simple guideline and then I go direct with my digital, but with my ink, but I go like it's a pencil and a definitive pencil, and I'm not afraid of doing that because of course it's digital, so I came back if I lost that line.
Yeah.
So that is the good part of the digital.
No, I like it. So, Shockheaded Peter is a horror fantasy, and that requires a lot of balancing of beauty and brutality. How do you decide how far to push like the grotesqueness of the imagery and while still kind of maintaining that whimsical imagery that you see in the book? Because it's both. It's because Shockheaded Peter, like, yes, he's this entity, this evil person, but he's also not quite evil. He's just
Yeah, you know.
it's a hard medium to find, but
Yeah.
you do it so well, and like some of the way he punishes people, like it's like holy hell, like
Yeah, it's cruel. I
it's
remember.
very cruel, but the art and the color and everything of it, like oh yeah, he got what was coming to him, and it's very cruel the way it happened, but it never seems to lose that whimsical like energy about him. Like he's still like you're still rooting for him. So
Yeah,
how hard was it to kind of find that balance between those two? Because this could have been like a very horror based book, but you drug that line, you and Ethan and Jess, you towed the line like very nicely down the middle to where it didn't
yeah.
go one way or the other. So how
I
was that?
think
Like how did you do it?
I think that 90% of this trick of keeping balance of these two, for cruelty, horror, and lighting stuff, is Jessica and Eden, because the good line, the good shot, the good environment, the good concept that they decide to use it, uh, keep it like that. So you starting reading the story, and you falling into some dark, very dark stuff, but
Yeah.
they immediately take you out in another way.
Mhm.
So I think 90% is about that. The 10% that I've done with that, it was like about Shockheaded Peter. Without spoiling too much, I
Yeah, let's not do
see him
that.
like I seem like is a, you know, the very tough teacher that they, you know, he want you to be the good, the best that you can, but he's very rude and he doesn't seem to show any love with
Yeah,
for
I've
you.
had a few
Okay,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, but in a kind of way you feel like I know you, I know, you know, something like that. I know
Mhm.
you want my best. Okay, so it's a kind of say I love you, something like that. So this kind of situation make me always acting in the when I draw him like this way, like he's a teacher, a very rough teacher, a very angry teacher, angry,
Yeah.
angry, let's say, it's upside down with that smile. And but in the end they know, Ruby knows about that. So the fact that, and also the fact that there's Ruby with this concept that is so innocent. I used to draw her always the first time like that, with the
Yeah,
hand
very
always
protective of
hide,
herself.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the sweater, right? A sweater is super huge, and with this hair not so elaborate, very clean character. Okay,
Yeah.
and him super pointy, super pointy to have to be
Yeah.
like, you have to be
You
afraid.
want to be afraid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But in the end, super pointy, but he's slim. He moves like he know where he is, always know what is happening. I think the first thing that let you chill out when you see Shockheaded Peter and not terrified immediately is the fact that you see in his face that everything is going smooth with me.
Hmm.
Everything I do, is going smooth because I know everything. It's like it make you feel that he know what he's doing. That he's
Yeah.
always know on the point. Okay, so I think that is the balance. Sometimes happening. Of course, sometimes it's happening something very strange stuff that you can see also in the Kickstarter. So I'm not spoiling everything. Like a punishment is happening. That if you see a closer look about what is actually happening, you said, "Oh my God, it's terrifying." It's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
but then you see maybe the style, maybe the color in that particular way. You said, okay, I can handle it. Everything is going to be. I can handle it. It's not such horror, of course. I'm not. I'm. It seems like I'm too much of that, but no. It's not that horror.
Yeah.
But you know, the balance with the color is helping a little bit.
I honestly like. I really love the character of Ruby, and I like how we see her from the first one to the second one, kind of evolving as a person, and
Mhm.
her becoming more confident
Yeah,
with Shockheaded Peter, kind of like, I don't want to say he's a mentor to her, and I don't want to give away the story, but he's definitely, you can't tell whether his intentions are good or bad
yeah,
toward her, and you're like, but you still, at the end, you're still rooting for him, and you're still wanting these great things for Ruby, because the life that she's lived, she deserves to
yeah.
have that little bit of
Would
good,
back up.
even if it
Yeah,
comes from Peter, who maybe giving her what she wants in a
a
not so
redemption.
positive way. Yeah, exactly. Yes, a
A
redemption.
redemption. Yeah, me too. When first I see the script and I just read the synopsis, I said, "Okay, let me see what happened," and then I stop it. I said, as I told you, I stop it and I start reading like 5 to 10 pages to time because I didn't want to spoil myself the story because I want to grow up with with Ruby,
I'm with you.
cheering up with Ruby, but also so curious about the way he's evolving. Shock at the Peter, and
And it's one of those where when they sent me the press release for the book, it's just like the first, I think, 5 or 10 pages, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't like send me like the whole book, because I went back, I ordered issue one,
yeah,
read
yeah, yeah,
issue one, and now I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna read issue one again when issue two gets here, just because it's really that good. They have put together
thank you.
a phenomenal story for everybody to enjoy with your artwork, and it just is it's beautiful together because it matches so well, your art and their story. It's like one person did everything because it's very seamless with each other. It's not overbearing. It's not like a lot of words because the story is like the art is telling the story and the words are just amplifying the art.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's done very well.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I hope I made a good job, because the fact that we comic artists always think that the page that we have done now is better than the old page, the previous
Yeah.
page, and so
You know,
on
it's
and
funny
on,
when you
and we'll
you
never
read a
stop
comic
this
book,
guilty. What?
you read a
Tell me.
comic book and you look at a comic book from the first page to the last page, each page will get better as you go because either the artist is just how they are or they really love the story and they're just trying to one up themselves as they go.
Yeah, because you feel inside of the story more and more, and you're starting to draw more and more often the people, the ambient, the backgrounds, all together, and you get confident, and you feel like you are inside of that story
Mhm.
sometimes. Not
Oh, when
too
you
much.
read this story, when you read Shockheaded Peter, for those anybody on the fence, go to the website, check out Shockheaded Peter. It's really one of those stories that pulls you in, like you're a character in it, and you're literally just standing on the outside watching this beautiful, story take place. And I say beautiful because whereas it is a kind of a horror fantasy, but the way you're rooting for all the right people for all the right reasons, and you hope you're doing it for the it's the right thing to do, you know. But let's keep pressing. So, how much of your Italian cultural background influences the tone or design of your characters and worlds? Because, like I said, this when I first see it and knowing you're Italian, I was like, this kind of does feel like a small Italian town somewhere, you
Yeah.
know. So, how much of that, and just not just in Shockheaded Peter, but in your other work, does like your culture and your background kind of influence that work?
But first thing first, I have to say that in the Bible there was about the character. When first we approach to the concept of the people, of the character inside of the comics, they show me the mask of Italian mask, like Pulcinella, all the stuff that said,
Yeah,
that kind of theater mask, Italian theater mask. Of course, I know. I said, oh, okay,
yeah.
perfect. It's perfect and aligned. And then we starting to do the concept with theater masks of the Italian folklore. Then I put more inside of the town, like I always think about the south of Italy, because I'm living in Rome right now, by my origins in south of Italy, and I
Mhm.
remember all this little town, little city also, that they have hanging out their clothes, one
Yeah.
window to the another, because they're
Mhm.
very tiny streets. And so I try to put everything in there, also because I love the fact that everything is happening in this kind of uh,
It's a
closed streets.
yes, yes.
I love that
It's
you
very much
feel.
like it feels just like a little small town. It's just like a few blocks it feels.
Yeah, that it feels like that the people inside of there is a huge whole family, and if it's happening like it's happening that Shockheaded Peter start his punishment, the people react very loudly, because it feels like they are a huge family. That is actually how it works, the little town in Italy, because they are so close together, they live so close together, and in this tiny street, everybody knows everything of the other
Mhm.
people. So,
Yeah, and it's
like
very
Shockheaded
it's you
Peter,
see that in the story too. Like everybody knows everybody there.
yeah, everybody knows everybody, the mayor, everything. So, and it's fit perfectly. It's amplified the fact that the streets are so tiny, and everything is happening there. Everybody knows what's going on, and they just panicking about that, about Shockhead Peter. This outsider environment is popping up.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that is our Italian culture. I think also I can put inside of my Italian culture that everything is
Nah,
a
it
huge
works
family.
so well though. It fits the story, it fits the vibe. But let's talk a little bit about working in indie comics and like some of the collaboration that happens within the comic books. So when you're collaborating with writers, whether it's Ethan or Jess or whoever, what's the biggest thing that you need from them to bring out the best version of your art to that project?
As I say, the first things that I say to Jessica and Ethan when we start working, it was like I appreciate when you put like the directory and the shots how it should be. I appreciate that, I love it, and he helped me a lot. But I think the most important thing that you have to write is the feeling that the panels have to have, like
Yeah, that makes a
how
lot of sense.
the character feel and how the environment should feel like. Because if you say it's like something terrifying, I know that my color palette and everything and my shots are to go there. So I prefer to have the emotion of the people, the feeling of the people, and the mood of the environment. That is the first things that I want to know, that help me a lot. Then the shots of course help me.
Mhm.
But I know I'm a bad comic drawer, because sometimes I mess up. I said, can I use this kind of shot differently that had you wrote? And they said, okay, it's fine. They say always it's fine. But I take me a
Yeah.
lot of freedom sometimes. But that is the good, because sometimes they said, no, it's better in that way. And they say me why. I said, okay, yeah, of course, you're right.
Mhm.
I just going too much on there. And sometimes it's happening that I have a good idea that, oh, nice, that is a good idea. As they said with you last time, is that sometimes they change the line a little bit for fitting inside of the panel. I
Yeah.
feel guilty, a lot of guilty, but they say that it works so well that they change a little bit. And I think this is the best way to collaborate with someone when they wrote the story, and when I have to draw it, because it's a cooperative stuff. If you want to
It's
bring up,
communicating. It's a whole lot of, like, and I tell people that all the time, is what makes my life easier when I'm bringing people on is just to communicate with me.
yeah,
Let me know. Like, I can, if I send you my calendar, like, hey, here's what I currently have scheduled, just
hmm
pick a day and pick a time. I will make it work for you.
hmm
And you were very easy with that. And when I ask for stuff, like I emailed you and I was like, hey, Sabe, can I get like a logo or just something so I can advertise you coming on the show? And you're like, boom, here you go. Like,
I, fa- I cut
it
a
didn't
little bit
take,
my hair for matching my draw of myself for the logo.
dude, the logo was perfect, dude. I was just like, when you sent it, I'm like he
Mm.
really sent me just like a badass piece of art to say,
Nah, it was
because it was so well done. And I'm just like,
I drew it literally one day because they said that we need something to show you up, and I didn't want to show my face a little bit
you
the
did that
first
in one
time.
day? Come on,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah. No, it was. I kind of feel like it was something that I should be look like me, but I messed
Like
up for
when you
something.
sent it to me and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's Sabe all day. Like I knew it was you. Like it was like, I'm like, dude, this is so good. Like I thought it was just something that you had laying around. I didn't realize like you just drew it on the spot. It was just like, hey,
Yeah,
here
no, no.
you
I
go.
drew it because one day they asked me, like, you ask us, did you have something for putting in a logo or something? So I said, okay, let's
Yeah.
make like my portfolio have that one big first pages portfolio, like a Sabe portfolio, and I have that image because I thought like, well, okay, maybe he's not too serious. He make a draw of himself. I don't know. So
No,
to be like,
it's so freaking good. And I was just like,
thank you.
and I was just like, dude, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like he just was like, hey, use this. I'm like, I'm using a work of art. Okay. I
Yeah,
like it.
did you notice all of the drawing in the background of my? There's my okay, my stupid face in front, and in the background there's a lot doodles, okay, of
Yeah, no, I
drawing.
see. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
in
the
those
one
doodles.
the one little doodle up at the top as well.
Yeah, on the top of well, like the balloon one with the doodle
Yeah.
was drawing, because it's like it's so serious the faces, and then in the balloon there's a smiling face was
Yeah, no,
drawing
that was
like.
like one of my favorite things to see because it was just like you could see the doodles in the back and then just up there like
Yeah.
very like
Yeah, the
just
message is that
chilling.
my anxiety. I don't know how to say in English. Okay, but my anxiousness is
Anxious.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. My anxiousness is released. Is like come down by the fact that I'm drawing. So when I'm
Mhm.
drawing, I'm happy. That is the point of the message.
No, it was so good. And I was just like, I'm like, and when I was saying like just communicating with people, and like I'm not going to ask you for something that I feel is going to take away from what you're trying to do. Like I want people to come on the show, but I'm like, hey, if you're going to come on the show, I need you to at least send me like a press release, or I need you to send me like the first 5 or 10 pages of the book if it's
Yeah.
done, just so I
Luckily
can.
for me, there was Ethan and Jessica who sent you everything
Yeah,
about
no, like,
Shockheaded Peter.
yeah, that was that one, yeah. But it's like I'm not asking. I don't want. I'm not stealing your shit. I'm never gonna do that. I just want. I gotta have something to use to be able to talk to you and have a discussion with you, and to display what it is that you're bringing to the world. And it's sometimes hard to get people to want to do that.
Mm.
I don't know why. It's like,
I don't know. As I told you, this is my second time in total that I am in a podcast. The first one, as I told you, it was an Italian podcast inside of the Comic Con there, and
mhm.
there was the really first time. This is my second first time. I said, "Oh my god, I have to do it in English." Perfect. Nothing will
No,
be
dude, you're absolutely killing it, dude. And
okay.
when I had mentioned it to Jess and Ethan, and they were like, "We'll take care of everything. We'll get you set up. We'll introduce y'all." And you were very easy to work with. You were just like, "Hey," and I know you're in the UK. I know you're in Italy, and I knew that the time difference. And I'm like, all my other friends who are in the UK, I'm like, when I do a show with them, I'm like,
Yeah,
hey, 10 a.m. It's like a good time. It's
yeah.
like early to mid afternoon for y'all. So
Yeah.
it just
Did you
works
see
out.
the sun is
It's
going now?
starting, yeah. And the sun is
Yeah.
just coming up over here.
Yeah. No, but for me it's fine because I usually have a really messed up schedule about my work, because sometimes I work like until the 4 a.m. in the morning until. So I remember once the Eden wrote to me and they say, okay, oh, this and that, and I said, okay, it's fine. I reply. I said, oh my god, but there in Italy is like 4 a.m. Why did you answer? I said, don't worry about it. No, I
Yeah,
totally
that's
messed
the
up
other
my
thing.
schedule.
Because I think
Basically.
when I sent you that email, it was like 11 o'clock at night or something. Because I had just finished the show, and I was like, "Oh, I need something to say you're coming on the show,"
Yeah.
and I didn't want to just grab something from what Jess and Ethan sent me. I was just like, I'm just going to see if he has like a logo that he likes to use or something, just something simple.
Yeah.
And then I sent it, and I was just like, "Fuck, he's probably in bed."
But it's not. No, that time I remember I was going to bed. Maybe it was really late. Maybe because I told you I messed up everything in my life about the schedule. Yesterday when you wrote to me, I was in the pub. It was I'm hanging out with my friend, and then you wrote to me. I said, okay, for tomorrow. And yeah, because it depends. Doing smart working, that is the good part, because you can
Mhm.
choose whatever schedule and timing you prefer and you feel
Yeah,
better.
that dude,
So
I'm telling you, that's like the ultimate goal right there. It's just to
yeah.
be able to do this full time
Exactly.
and get to talk to other creators just full time, just like
I don't want to say it, but this is the purpose of, because I want to be a
just be
comic.
your own boss and make your own
Only
schedule.
because
That's like the perfect job.
yeah, my ultimate goal is to do whenever I want, whatever I want.
So, what is your favorite part of translating what they send you into visual storytelling? Like, what's your favorite part of that?
About the script, the part of the
Yeah,
story. Yeah.
just like translating the script into the story.
Okay, I think I'm a very, as I said, simple man, and everything is going to be action is really funny to true. So when they send to me something that is happening like huge stuff, like I told you, the punishment or
Mhm. Oh,
the
that's probably my favorite punishment that they sent. That's a part of the press package, and I was just like, "Oh, that's so fucked up." But at the same
yeah.
time, it was
I
like
thought the same when I read it.
that dude, like that kid, fucking deserved it.
Yeah, I really hate him too. And so, yeah, the best part to draw is that, or sometimes also when is something like there's huge long shot that you can see everything, and there's a lot of places to draw with a lot of details about the houses,
Mm,
the city, like the pages that I think it's not a spoiler, the double splash page from the top of the town. They're having
yeah,
everything is happening like with the arrows pointing where the
yeah,
people are going. That I thought initially when I wrote it, I said, oh my god, it will be so tough to draw. But then when I started to draw it, I said, oh my god, this is awesome, I'm enjoying so much,
yeah.
it's super fun to
No,
draw it.
that's a very very cool page actually. Like it was because you can the detail like all the way down to like the cobble streets.
Yeah, and
It
there's
is
an Easter egg
absolutely
right there.
amazing.
There's an Easter egg for some friends of mine here in Italy, like right there in that pages.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
Easter eggs. Like I tell people all the time that you can read a full comic book in 5 or 10 minutes. I can't do that. It takes me like 25, 30, 45 minutes to read a full comic book because I'll read it and
Because
then
hey, it could be our Easter egg, yeah.
I'm like, what's hiding in this art? I know there's something in here. There's an Easter egg somewhere. I'm going to find it. And normally, if you look long enough, you're
You will
going to
spot.
find it.
Yeah.
So I always like that's why it takes me so long to read a comic book is because I'm looking for those Easter eggs.
But me too, me too. When I read the comics, I remember from the first time, sometimes I totally lost the story because I'm looking only for the drawing. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm buying the comics, not because of the story, but because I saw the drawing. I said, oh my God, this is beautiful. I'll take
Mhm.
it. Enough for me.
It's so one of
Then
my
there's
favorite
the
things to
script that
do.
it's a problem because as my scripter, Jessica in Eden, and also my scripter in Italy, I always said, you guys, I don't know, in my entire life, I
Mm,
always see another colleague like me, only the drawing, and I totally forgot about you guys have to do the biggest stuff that is a build up as an entire story. But for
yeah.
me, it's in a second place.
But no, it's really cool. Like when you go back and you look at like I don't know how familiar you are with H.R. Geiger, the guy who created like the first Alien series, like the artwork and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The concept you say, the
Yeah,
alien
yeah.
concept.
And
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
I can't remember where he's from originally, but like just the details, like now, thankfully we have computers where like you can like zoom in on some of his artwork and just see some of the intricacies that he did into some of his artwork.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful that he was able to give so much detail to that in just like a painting or a drawing or and it's like in we can't see it with our naked eye when we just look down at
Yeah,
it, but
but
with
that
now that we have technology we can zoom in and we can spand
that
out, we
it
can
can be
really see it.
a double sword. How to say a double word
Double-edged
sword?
sword.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because sometimes when you put too much detail in a comics, I don't tell about the
yeah,
characters. I like the alien stuff, okay. But about a comics, I prefer to have the pages as big as it should be in real life,
yeah,
because you get lost too much in the detail. There's maybe someone will never saw,
yeah,
and plus they are not important. If as a okay, an Easter egg is totally fine, but sometimes they doesn't need to know how many hair have on his
yeah,
arm, because you have zooming out that your naked eye can see in the
yeah. No,
printed
I completely
pages.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it can be good for that because you make this super cool stuff for illustration is super cool. But
Mhm.
sometimes for showing up a scene in a comic page is kind of useless. It depends, it really
Yeah.
depends, because sometimes double splash page there are a lot of is going on. It's super useful because you have to see, I don't know,
Mhm.
a battlefield. There are two army fighting each other, and you can spot the people, and you can make little scene, drawing little scene that with the digital you can appreciate more because you can
Yeah.
zoom in. But sometimes it's happened that you make a normal shot with a normal guy speaking with another guy, and you have to make in the background, because I told you I used to draw a lot of background. There are so many details that are not useful for the shot, for the
Yeah.
narration. Okay, so it depends. It's the double-edged sword. Double-edged sword. That is the word.
No, I mean it makes sense. So let me ask you this. if you could work on any project,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's creator owned or it belongs to DC or Marvel, Image, you name it. What project would you want to work on?
Unfortunately, one of my hero, Jorge Corona, is working for making a new Lobo.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm so angry. I will never go that way. Of course, I will never reach that level. And
No, dude,
I'm
you're there,
super
man.
happy. Yeah, no, but I'm super happy that Lobo, that is one of my favorite character.
Mhm.
Of course, when I was a couple 10 years ago. Right
Yeah.
now I'm appreciating like some kind of graphic novel like Black Sad or stuff like more more heavier, more complex, okay, as a
Yeah.
story and also as a drawer. Let me retake this sentence, because Jorge Corona is amazing. His
No,
job is
you're absolutely right.
amazing. And
And
when I
Lobo is
saw,
just one of those characters where he disappeared for a long time, and now we're
yeah,
starting to get Lobo coming back into the public spotlight again. I'm here
what a
for it. Like, I
pity.
love Lobo.
What a pity, and I hope I for sure Jorge Corona he will make a a
Yeah.
beautiful job. I listened rumors about they are going to make a series about Lobo, and I don't know. Jason Momoa probably is going to make the
It's
Lobo.
Jason Momoa. Yeah, it is.
I don't know if sure. I didn't too much
So
about that.
we've already know he's supposed to make an appearance in the Supergirl movie
The
as
Supergirl movie.
Lobo. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, it's fine. It's totally fitted. I am afraid of this. I hope they don't mess up too much, because the message of Lobo is like um really, really punk, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid that is going to be lost because they want to make the more people viewer. So they make it softer, but Lobo is not that
No,
soft. The
he's
good
not.
part
No,
of Lobo is that it's a badass.
no, absolutely. And it's one of those where he's like, oh, what's his name? The Ghost
No.
Rider and
Okay. Yeah.
Deadpool like combined
Yeah.
into one. He's got
Yeah.
this smart mouth,
Exactly.
but he's got this cool like outer space motorcycle,
Yeah.
and he's just like he's very punk, very hardcore,
I'm very
and
metal also, because I remember
yes,
about in a story that he put inside of his head a radio or tuning metal
yes,
music 24 age.
yeah.
So
So it's one of those where if they don't get the little intricacies of him the right way, then it's
yeah,
not
it's
going to
going.
resonate with the
Yeah,
hardcore fans of Lobo because again, this is a character where he disappeared for 10 or 15 years and now he's
yeah,
starting to creep back into the spotlight. We're like, you better give us the Lobo that we used to have. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's just don't
yeah,
do it. Don't
yeah.
touch the
Exactly.
character
It's
unless
going
you
to
plan on
ruin
giving us
everything. Yeah,
that hardcore Lobo that we need and we want. And
yeah.
that's just perfect.
I'm sure that Jorge Corona for the comics part it will be
Oh, he'll nail
awesome.
it.
But he
It's going to
never.
be amazing.
Yeah, because he never. I draw. Sorry, read. I read some of these comics. It's like the Me You Love in the Night, in the Dark. The Me You Love in
Yeah.
the Dark, and another one. It was Middle West, something like that. I don't
Okay.
remember the title. Okay, and it was amazing the way he drew. I love, and it was with Scotty Young. I think Scotty Young was the
Oh,
scripter.
dude.
And Scotty Young is
Scotty Young
another
is
one that I
so
really
good.
love.
Like, I love his art. Like,
you you can
I
spot
hate
on my
Fairyland.
drawing, on my inking, a little bit of
Oh,
Scotty Young.
okay. I wasn't going to say nothing, but
A little
there
bit,
is
a
some
little bit.
influence there. And especially the way you do, like, the more cartoony
Yeah,
characters. And Scotty Young is brilliant. Like, he's just got his own unique style it's very cartoonish, but it's just so damn good.
yeah, of
And
course.
I
Yeah,
Hate Fairyland is
yeah, yeah.
probably
Yeah,
is just a phenomenal story
yeah,
that's his. It's his story, his art, and he's got a whole team behind him that is just absolutely amazing. And Image, thank you for bringing I Hate Fairyland to us because
Yeah,
it's
it's
amazing.
incredible. It's incredible. And now we find out that he's a good scripter too, because I love that, especially the Me You Love in the Dark is like a
Yeah,
perfect story for someone who works into the painting, also into the comics. We can say, okay, into the art is a
yeah.
perfect way to show how the
Yeah, because I
anxiety
mean, he
of
was
that
only
world.
really known. He was only really known for doing covers, just like cartoon covers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then, like my very first reading experience from him was I Hate Fairyland,
yeah, again.
and it was just so good. I'm like, and it's about to hit issue 50 now. So
Yeah,
we're almost 50 issues into I Hate Fairyland,
yeah,
and it's just like, dude, it's just so good. Like he's such a good storyteller. And it's a shame because I think a lot of really good artists are probably really good storytellers,
yeah.
but we don't get to experience that because they're just so damn good at
I don't
art.
know. I really fear to start in writing something, because once I do it, and yeah, I searching for publisher. It was my first project, and I starting to feel like, no, maybe I need someone who make it as his job, the scripter. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't do everything. Also because I don't know. There's some rules, some that you have to follow. Not, no, of course, it's not a proper rule that you have to follow 100%. But there are some rules that make it better, just because you put something inside of the story there and there in the perfect
Mhm.
timeline of the story. So I searching the script as bread, as
Yeah.
something vital for my life. Now, also, I have the scripter here in Italy, Marco Ferrari. There is my scripter for this new comics, the graphic novel that went out in Italy. So it's not a market placement here because it's only
Yeah.
in Italy. And I when I saw and I started to work with him, I understand why I can make my own story, maybe a light story, like a couple of issues or something really light. But if I want to
Yeah.
make something really deep, really strong, that it works, I need someone who make it
Yeah. To
better in a
help
better way.
bring it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I just kidnap him and put it inside of my
got
of my basement, because I said, no, no, you will never leave after we make something really good.
All right, let's dive into Shockheaded Peter
Yeah.
from your perspective for a little bit. What were your first reactions to this world of Shockheaded Peter when you read the script for it? Like when Jess and Ethan sent you over the Shockheaded Bible and they were
Yeah.
like, hey, what was your impression of that when you first got the script and everything to start working on the art?
Of course, the first things that I thought is I will be able to do 58 pages. It was a material fear, but then I
Yeah,
wrote it. I read it, and I said, "No, something is starting to pop up in my mind. How it should be done. The location and the people. Everything is starting to be alive in my mind, and I started to sketch it. So the first reaction was I'm enthusiastic about that. The first one was fear. I can handle this stuff. And then the first, he was enthusiastic about that. I started to draw everything and
yeah,
sending everything to them. The more that I have in my mind, I send everything. And so yeah, it was also, as I don't know if they told to you how we met each other, that find out we spot each other on social media, on Facebook, and it
yeah,
was my first big job. So the first thing when I see the Bible, I said, oh my god, it's so perfect that there's so many stuff going on.
yeah.
I,
It
I
was
will be
amazing.
I will be on that level. I can manage that. I will be good to make it true, to make it real on a pages. And then the
Yeah,
more that I read, the more I will feel comfy. The more that I speak with Ethan and Jessica, I said, okay, they are a cool guy. They understand. Also, we find each other like a sort of first big work. So we have to help each other about constructing this world. So yeah, the first reaction was panicking, and then
yeah.
it was chilling
No,
with them.
I'm glad that it worked out because your art style with that story, it everything just fits beautifully
Yeah,
together.
thank.
Um, so from the visual elements, what visual elements did you immediately want to bring to life within this story? Was it the monsters, Ruby, the folklore, the textures? What was your first thing that you when you read this, like what made you excited to want to do this? Like which
The
element of this?
figure, the character of Shockheaded Peter. The
Okay.
first thing that I draw immediately without any starting to processing or organizing myself was Shockheaded Peter. I said, I want to know how is this character. I was falling in love with the character. So the first thing was how I have to put in life this character, and I start drawing a
Such a
lot of
great
concept.
character.
Yeah,
It's just a fun character. Like
yeah, there was like
he's a bad guy, but yet you love him so much.
yeah, and fun fact that this is like the third character concept that I made that is right now. The first one it was
Yeah.
totally different, and I said, but it was close. It was close, but it was totally different how the way he acting, because when I make a concept, you have to make also the acting, because you have to see how he's act inside of the story, because
Yeah.
you feel the character, no, the behavior of the character. And so the first thing that I wanted to pop up in life was Shockheaded Peter.
Mhm.
Then the second stuff that when we found out about Shockheaded Peter, of course Ruby. Now Ruby, I love Ruby, of course,
Oh,
but
okay.
Shockheaded
So
Peter
that
is
was that's my next question, actually. So
yeah,
Ruby actually has a broken heart. It's a literally broken heart.
yeah.
And it's like one of my favorite concepts of the story outside of Shockheaded Peter. How did you express that in her design and emotional arc? Because it's like a no shit, a actual broken heart.
It's funny because I think when they stopped the Kickstarter, they put the first image for the Kickstarter was her holding his heart or his chest here with
With
the
the
clock
watch.
pulsing,
Yeah.
yeah, the watch pulsing, saying that is going to have a problem. And I think that is the way that I figured I always want to try to feel it, the emptiness of his eyes when he's going to panicking or he's super angry, the empty of his eyes, the super it's not super fearing expression in his face, on his face. And also the fact that he's like freezing. I like the way that when he's starting to feel like something is going wrong, and the watch is pulsing, is freezing, and his
Yeah.
eyes kind of become empty. He feel like something is happening inside of her, and
Yeah.
he can manage that.
Yeah.
So
So
I
like I was waiting and like as I was reading the press piece for number two, and we get that one moment where her heart starts acting up and the watch starts going crazy.
And I
I
love
was
the fact
like,
that they put like two bar for because the first bar
yeah,
is empty and is kind of a danger zone, and then the second bar we are fucked up. So I like the tension
yeah,
as it create the fact that is one bar, two bar. I really love that, and I really enjoy it to draw it also. And the bar
yeah,
empty with this liquid, vivid lighting, red liquid pulsing inside. It seems like his vein
it's
inside
alive.
of the watch. Yeah, it's like
Yes,
I found like the vein is inside of the watch for man for like the smartwatch right now, but with the
yeah,
vein inside, with the blood pulsing inside, and it was
yeah.
amazing. The
Like
concept.
just the visual of that and like the way you portrayed it in the pages, I was just like, what is Ruby exactly? It's kind of like, is she the actual monster? Your head starts thinking all these questions because at that point I had not read issue one.
I
So
feel that,
I was
mate, because me too.
I was
Me
just
too.
like, Ruby is special. And we know she's special because I mean the story kind of centers around her. But at the same time, you were like, "Dang, like, what else is going on with Ruby?" And we kinda
Yeah.
get some hints from what's going on with her dad and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, you love Ruby so much, she's such a cool character, and it's like, I don't wanna see nothing bad ever happen to Ruby.
Yeah,
And
because
then you have
she
Shockheaded Peter, who really he like, he takes an affection toward her, and you can tell, like, he wants to help her and guide her in his own twisted little way, because that's how he is.
Yeah. No, yeah, but if you see in that, I feel always that in that story, Ruby is a kid, but in reality is like the only grow up woman, the badass woman who want to manage his life and put the
Mhm.
business together. And also his mother is a very nice figure, but the mother is a little bit, because of the situation with his husband, with the father of Ruby,
Yeah,
is kind of falling apart. And the pilaster, can I say pilaster? Yeah,
yeah,
where the roof of the life of the family is on her. So he's a grow up woman
yeah.
in the way she
Yeah, she had
behaves.
to she had to grow up fast, given her condition,
Yeah.
her father's condition, the environment, and them just not having very much. So she's having to take on a lot of responsibility at a very young age, which
Yeah.
forced her to kind of grow up early and become a young woman before
Mhm.
she should have had to do that.
Yeah, I am afraid of saying some spoiler because the way it's evolving, you see, there will be more connection with the Shockheaded Peter. I don't want to spoil anything, but
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to see her in after the events for chapter 3, right? Like, because I looking forward to how they will build this character when it will be like a proper woman, a
yeah.
teenager or something. Because the way is evolving the story without spoiling, it make me so curious how will be
No,
the concept of Ruby in
they they knew what they were doing when they did it,
yeah,
and they are some great storytellers, and your
yeah,
art
yeah, amazing.
really just pulls everything together so beautifully. So, without spoilers, Sabe,
Yeah,
what visual moments in Volume 2 are you the most proud of?
without spoiler, because as I said, the more that I draw, the more that I like how it's going on and how I'm drawing, because I'm getting used, and I get comfortable, and I'm starting to grow up with this character and this environment. But maybe the first part is the one that I love to. Maybe for the adrenaline of starting this new chapter that is pretty long, and I really enjoy and having fun on doing that. But there's something, without spoiler, in where a certain character that we already saw, sh- let me see, we have a piece of the story that I really am enjoying to. I'm literally drawing these pages because
Okay.
it's in the final part, so I can say nothing is literally,
Yeah.
so and I really enjoy drawing it and see how this character evolving, because I'm not enjoying the way that I'm drawing. I'm enjoying when I love where I'm reading. When I'm reading, is popping up in my mind, oh, this is so cool, I have to put in an image,
Yeah.
and that I love. And I this happening in the first part, of course, is everything okay, but most in the first part, because I was super excited to see how it's going. And this last part where this character is popping up, that I can't say nothing, unfortunately, but it will be
No,
surprised
no. I don't want to
how
give
is the.
spoilers.
Yeah, no,
I
no, it
really
will be
want people to go and read
yeah.
this book
I,
because it is so good.
the only thing that I can say, that the style, the drawing style, it will be different. Full stop. I
Okay.
will not spoil nothing.
No, no, I like it, man. I really do.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
let's move into our very last segment. It's just going to be some rapid fire questions, Sabe.
I hope my English will hold.
No, dude, you've been perfect this entire time, man. I'm telling you.
Thank you. Okay.
What horror film most inspires your artistic tone?
Horror film. I don't know how to say in English. I don't remember that. Nah, I have to find something that we can also um a middle field, because I have in mind a film, but I don't remember the title. I don't know if it was an Italian title. It was
You can look it up real quick if you need to.
yeah,
Yeah, look it
maybe.
up.
I don't want to break up the rhythm of
No,
the
no,
line.
no. You're fine,
Uh,
dude.
let me
I,
see.
I
Let me
want I
see.
want I want us to get this spot on because if it's something that I haven't seen, I'll probably go and watch it. To be fair, because that's how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime, like I know, I got a few comic book recommendations when I had Francisco on last month, and I'm still trying to track down those books. So I may have to send them to you because one of them was in an Italian comic book. So I'm
Mhm.
going to shoot that to you later and see if you're familiar with it or if you know where I could find it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm making too much, too much research, and then I don't
No,
want
no,
to ruin.
you're good.
Yeah, there was like Midsummer, and
Okay, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
Midsummer. Okay, yeah, is
yeah.
another, and also yeah, of course I forgot the one of that inspired me a lot, the Lighthouse,
Oh,
and the Witch, and all of that
yes.
director is absolute. I'm forgetting the name, because
No, you're
always
good. Because
forgot names.
Midsummer is like a amazing movie. So
But
that's a perfect one right there.
yeah, I need to put these at least three and not one, because Midsummer make me think we can make an horror film with the very bright color in the daylight and everything. You can
Yes.
make that tension. And the Lighthouse, I love it, because the use of the black and white stuff, because it's in black and white,
Yeah. I
and
love a
the
good
way.
black and white movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they help a lot when you draw a comics art, for the inking.
Yes.
They help a lot to manage the how heavy you have to go with the black and with the white on a full page, and that was amazing in the White House. And the last one, the Witch, because of the atmosphere and the color, the shots was really great. The
Mhm.
way that you can not see what's happening in the dark is it made me shit my pants. Sorry, always. Always, because
There's
I'm not a horror fan, but I used to draw it, to see it, because I enjoy the way how they direct everything.
Ron
Tell me.
Perlman did a movie called The City of Children. Now, I want to say it's Italian,
The
but I'm
City
looking
of
it up
Children.
right now. Yeah. I think it come out in the 90s. Or The City of Lost Children, something like that. But
I
it's in
think
black and
it's
white, and then it's in color.
French.
It's French. You're right, because Ron
Yeah,
Perlman.
the City de Enfants Perdus. See, I think it's French. I think it's French,
But when
maybe,
you
because I
said
saw.
in black and white, that's like one of the first movies that comes to my head because it's in black and white, and then also in color later on. Like certain elements are in color in that
Yeah.
movie, but it's just it's a horror movie, yes, but it's almost like very dramatic and it's also very thriller ish. It kind
Hmm.
of just blends like these really cool elements into the story.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if it was Italian or French, so
I
that's why
think
I
it's
was trying to
French.
look it
I don't
up.
want
Yeah.
to mess up everything. And
No,
if
no,
you
no,
want
no. You're
to
good.
debunk me, someone, in the comment,
No,
they can debunk me.
but no, I think you're right because I think Ron Perlman he spoke perfect French in the movie.
Ah,
So,
okay.
all right. So next one, which
Yeah.
comic artist do you look to when you want to kind of recharge creatively? Like, is there a certain artist like when you're like, I need some inspiration? Is there a specific comic book artist that you go, that's the guy that he recharges my batteries?
I think I already say it. It's
I'm
Jorge
pretty sure
Corona.
you, yeah,
Yeah, it's Jorge Corona, and also sometimes Rob Guillory. This is the first that let me think that I want to do comics art. But Jorge Corona is the one that I go into Instagram immediately when I feel like I don't know how to draw. I don't know what to do. I'm useless. And then I see this masterpiece of ink
yeah,
and color also, because I think sometimes color too. Sometimes you have a colorist, and I think it's French, the colorists who make Midwest, and also the May You Love in the Dark. So Jorge Corona.
yeah.
The quick answer is Jorge Corona.
There's a comic book artist who's really good at horror, and I'm trying to remember his name. I think it's Francavilla.
uh,
Francavilla? Francisco Francavilla or Francavilla.
Francavilla. It could be.
Yeah, Francisco. He's Italian as well, but
Hmm.
he does a lot of like horror. Like his horror stuff is just like
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
he likes to redo the old monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
His work is just
In Italy we
amazing.
used to make movies, horror movie, and also comics because we have Dylan Dog and stuff like that of Bonelli.
Yeah.
We used to be pretty good on that. I don't know what happened no, I don't know. I think they are still good. I think they're still good.
No,
I don't
no,
want
they and
to.
we were talking before we went live. I was telling you about Don't Run with Scissors, which is an Italian horror comic book that is just
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
my next question is actually
yeah,
related to something that Francisco does very well is old school Hollywood horror
yeah,
monsters.
yeah.
So if you could do one old school Hollywood horror monster in Sabe style, who would you want to do?
I'm thinking about it. Mm, 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 mm. You know, it's a bit complicated. I think I like grotesque figure,
Mm,
so maybe, and also sci-fi, maybe Alien. It can be something that I would like to, or in that universe. Okay,
yeah,
I think it's not horror. Yeah, horror sci-fi, but yeah, that one because a creature and grotesque stuff. I don't used to draw a lot, and
yeah.
that's why I would love to.
So the creature from the Black Lagoon, I think, is
Yeah,
just
yeah. Also,
would look
yeah, the
so
Black Lagoon
cool.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alien. I don't know if so old. Yeah, 80s. Yeah, right. It's like
yeah,
80s. So it can be, and also yeah, the Black Lagoon style of this kind of
yeah,
creepy monster that I not used to draw it a lot, but I will love to because I want to challenge myself, and also
yeah,
because I think it fits perfectly in the way that I want to make it grotesque. The character,
yeah.
this monster fit perfectly.
No, I like it, dude. I do like it a lot. So, what is the strangest? So, you've been into comic books now for a
Yeah.
little bit. What has been the strangest or funniest like reference request that you've gotten from a writer? Has a writer just asked, like, "Hey, can you do this one thing in this one book?" That was just like you where you stopped and went, "Wait, what? You want what?"
I don't know. I think that maybe it was happening more in the when I make the storyboard artist because in the storyboard artist when this advertising that they say that he was traveling around the world and he went into this place where it was like a sacred fountain, something like that, and they asked me to put that is mooning himself. I didn't know what does it mean mooning itself because it was only with yeah underpair,
Yeah,
and I didn't know what does it mean mooning. And I look up and I said, mooning means that. I'm really maybe it's a mistranslation, and then
yeah,
I was struggling until the last time I said, okay, maybe it's fine. Or say mooning because people laughing at him. So that it was so fuck up. That I said, okay, it
yeah,
was more like I was afraid to put in self mooning inside
yeah.
of the storyboard because I mistranslate that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those where you don't want to
Yeah,
mistranslate
I
that.
don't want to. Yeah, because they said, "What the are you doing right now?" I said, "Oh, sorry, I mistranslated."
That's awesome, dude. I like that. That's a good story right there. So, Sabe, we're about to close it out.
Yeah.
Please tell everybody where they can find your art.
Yeah, my heart, you can find it in Sabe underscore 89 underscore art on IG, Instagram. Also on Facebook, you can find me like Giuseppe Sabè Di Stefano. I'm sorry about my name; it's too long. You can call me. You make good Sabe. I said to the other guy, call me Joe, because it's fine. My uncle in
Sabe.
Canada, my
Sabe
uncle's
sounds so cool, though.
yeah, I choose because of there's a long story, but we are closing, so it's fine. But my uncle in Canada called me Joe, so I said, okay, Joe is totally fine. I feel in family. I feel in family.
Yeah.
So you can find me, yes, on Instagram and on Facebook. I told you Sabe underscore 89 underscore art. Also on ArtStation as Giuseppe Sabe Di Stefano. And let me know if you like and comment on my art. So if you like or
I
enjoy it.
like it, man. So I will also link all your social media stuff down
Thank you very
below this
much.
video when it releases. And I did it on the advertisements as well. I gave a link to your art and your social media.
Thank you
But
very much.
can't thank you enough, for coming on and joining us today. Shout out to Jess and Ethan for helping make this conversation happen. They
Yeah,
really
sure.
went above and beyond to do this for us. and I'm so glad they did that for us. It was been a great conversation today, Sabè.
Thank you,
cannot appreciate it enough. And also for bringing Shockheaded Peter to life, man. It is such an amazing book. Your art helps tell that awesome story that they have written so well. And appreciate you coming on, man. We really do appreciate it. All the council members, I need y'all to go out, give Sabè a follow on his social media. Let him know you appreciate him, because Shockheaded Peter really is just one of those fantastic stories. And you're already drawing volume 3, right?
Yeah, we are planning to. We are taking a little bit of gap. Yeah, it's pretty soon. Don't worry, it's pretty soon. We are not
so
waiting.
I know they were going to try to get the third volume out a little bit quicker. It wasn't going to be a year between them like it was for volume 1 and volume 2.
No, it was short, and I'm looking forward. So I'm asking to them to quick.
I can't wait to have all 3 of you on this time. That's the plan. When Shockheaded Peter volume 3 is ready to hit Kickstarter, my plan is to have Jess, Ethan, and Sabè all on at the same time, so we can deep dive into volume 3 all together as one big happy Shockheaded Peter family, which I think would be amazing if we can get it to happen. But with that, Sabè, I want to again thank you for coming on. Welcome to the Council of Nerds, my friend. And I've already said this before, Shockheaded Peter is USDN approved, but now we can add Sabè and his art that he does for Shockheaded Peter to that and say Sabè himself is USDN approved. Sabè, again, thank you so much. Everybody out there, enjoy your weekend. Go do something fun and pick up a comic book and give it a read. And with that, everybody, the USDN is out of here. Enjoy your weekend.
It's a trap!